Welcome, Pisces, Aries, to your Astro Dice reading for October. Hope you friends are doing great out there. If you friends like this, please like and subscribe. Okay, guys, let's see what's going on. And for those of you who are new, this is where I take astrology with tarot, make a small horoscope for the month using one of the 12 houses. So let's dig right into this and see what's going on. Some Aries energy coming out into the 8th house. Ooh, with some Sagittarius, a lot of fire going on. Okay. So going to this Mars, your physical energy, drive, strength, and fighting spirit. Doing a Sagittarius style over here. The energy infuses power, superior confidence, and enthusiasm with faith, good fortune, and authority. So, loving that. And going straight into the 8th house. This is the transformational area of your life. It's about shared resources and intense emotions. Going straight into the beginning of the month, middle of the month, and the end of the month. Cards are huge. Okay. Just so big for my little hands. You have the Wheel of Fortune coming out. Wow. The things are looking up in your, in your cycle in the very beginning of the month. So with the Prince of Discs and having the arts. So getting creative about what it is you truly want, getting inspired about what your dreams are. What is it that's coming towards you, right? That's what we we're just talking about. Is there something that I can look at? Is there something that's going a little slow, pulling me, along the path, but is it actually going to put me in the right direction? Playing on your intense emotions over here as well. So having this Wheel of Fortune over here, this is talking about the change of your fortune, your destiny. This is usually, this is generally good at saying, I'm pulling you in the right direction to get your destiny, right? To get what it is you co-created. What is it that you've co-created? What is it that you've done? It's a combination of forces, having the realization that this is coming through. Success after, after all of the things that you've done. Prince of Discs. Putting in the work. The discs is the same as the pentacles, right? This is being a little skeptical of your spirituality, though. So you have to be a little careful, That could be another reason, if you're going to say, well, my manifestation didn't come in, maybe you were too skeptical. You didn't have enough faith. You didn't have enough trust. Maybe you asked for something really, really big. And you didn't see it come through because you were being too skeptical. You weren't giving it the power that it needed to come through, right? You have to have the drive and the strength. You have to have the faith and, and the authority over the situation. I do feel like through the art, though, it's almost like you're getting it. Something has caught your attention for a lot of you, and you're saying, oh my gosh, you know what? I get it. I get it. I got it. Here it comes. And I do feel like something did happen for a lot of you that's actually pulling you towards this desire, pulling you towards this to where you got the, oh my God, I've got it. And now you're going to start seeing this come in. You're having this realization, right? You're seeing it. Like I said, after the escape, after you put in all of the things that are going on, you're saying, oh my gosh, I get it. I see it. I know what I did. I think for a lot of you are going to see this manifestation come in. Because I think that, as you watch something else happen, it really caught your attention and you maneuvered, right? You maneuvered around that situation. And I think that that's what caught the attention of yourself when you said, this can happen. Oh my God, this can happen. And so I think where you thought maybe it wouldn't come in, it's now, yes, because you planted the seeds. You had this idea, but I do have this feeling, I'm telling you right now, because of the emotions that you were giving off, you were saying, I don't think this will happen. But now all of a sudden something came to light with sustainable results. You planted some seeds and they came in, and now you're saying, holy, you know what, this could happen. Yeah. Okay, and yeah, because there was a lot of competition that could have been going on within the situation. You might even felt like there was a rivalry going on. There was something that was, a lot of disagreements, a lot of concerns about the situation, which also caused a lot of tension. So it might have felt like this is why I didn't give this much of attention, but now I understand how to manifest, how to get these things done, and I'm watching it all come together. Wow. So having unbiased judgment about the situation, but also having this communication, you are definitely in the drive and the fight to actually get to where your good fortune and your authority is. Right? Holding on tight to what it is that you've been planting and understanding how to plant and giving it more attention. So in the mid-month, you do have the Knight of Wands coming out with the Ace of Discs, the gift from the universe right here, right? With the Ace of Wands, wow, during that solar eclipse area. So it does feel like there was a lot of, things going in your favor. Knight of Wands over here is the fiery part of you, right? That brings in this swiftness, right? It could be very generous. You could feel like I was very generous to myself. I'm being very generous to myself. Or you could feel like this fiery person is coming towards you to be very generous towards you. Could be Aries, Sagittarius, or a Leo. And you could feel like this is where they're pulling things together for me, helping me out. Right? Because the Ace of Discs over here is talking about the root of the power of that earth, right? Earth power coming through. This is that material gain, right? This is where your power, your labor, your wealth is. This is where you're feeling like I'm getting my materialism as much as possible, but I'm being generous to myself on where I'm putting my power, where I'm putting all my strengths to gain what it is I need to gain. With the Ace of Wands, a lot of fiery action going on there. And this one's saying, well, if you're going to put all your actions toward what you're going to gain, then you're also going to be the root of energy, strength, right? It could even be sexual, right? The sexual, needs, right? Could be the sexual needs towards a fire sign itself, right? We all have our desires and our needs. So take that however that resonates. But yeah, it's also a part of that sexual desire, that sexual need. Could be dealing with a fire sign, could be dealing with an earth sign as well. You could be going after this person, right? You could be manifesting this person. However, knowing that this is what I need. With the Page of Cups coming out with creative opportunities. And like I said, it could be new love. And this is a card of new love. This is creative opportunities. This is new love. This is, those fiery pieces also of this is what I want, right? Happy surprise, the dreamer. So you could have this new love coming in. You could also have this intuitive message coming through from this person that's saying, hey, you know what? This is where we need to get balance. This is where we need to come together. This is where we need clarity. But you're going to also be very clear about the situation when it comes. It could be a Leo that's coming through, like I said, or an Aries or a Sagittarius. I got a lot of fire going on over here. So, but this is where you're definitely going to find the courage and focus upon what it is you truly want within the 8th house, keeping your emotions at bay. Wow, because it's just going to be like, okay, because remember, this is a transformational area of your life, which is about shared resources or intense emotions. So if you know that you're going through something, some kind of divorce or something, or anything that has to do with shared resources, you're going to, and it could be a divorce, right? You know that you're going to keep yourself, listening and paying attention to what's going on around you, right? And remember, wealth and material gain, that's the 8th house. My divorce is saying, you know what, this is mine, and you're not going to take that away from me. That's not, I have to really you're going to have to really pay attention when it comes to the resources, right? Because you own land. You have this house. You know what I'm saying? You have shared resources Yeah, I'm going to make sure that you're not trying to get over on me, right? So there is going to be some kind of compromise, but it's going to definitely come in your favor in a lot of ways because whatever is going on in the situation, you have the fire and the passion enough to stand up for yourself to say, this is mine, you're not taking that away from me, or we need to sell that and compromise and come together and get what's, you get half of it and I'll get half of it, right? However it is. Because I do see that. Okay. And it looks like they're trying to maybe pull the wool over someone's eyes, but it ain't happening. And maybe that's what you were afraid of. Maybe you were afraid that even if I'm manifesting this, even though I'm talking to my lawyer about this, swords, lawyers, right? They're trying to tell me one thing or another, but then I know what I'm not going to give up on that. Maybe you thought you were going to give up on it because maybe you're even dealing with some kind of Gemini or somebody or a fire sign who's telling you you are not getting anything. Your lawyer is going to turn around and tell you that is not going to happen. You have the Princess of Discs. That did not sound like it said. But anyways, Princess of Discs. Okay. And Prince of Wands. Yes. Okay, maybe that's what it was, guys, right? I'm dealing with a prince or princess of, yeah. Okay, so anyways, could have been a possibility, especially sitting over here with the Ace of Wands at the back. Yeah, hey, you know what? Sometimes, right? So anyways, the Princess of Discs over here, discs, yes. Just the same as coins. You have the Ace of Wands over here. Sometimes, I swear. Okay, so we have the willpower and the desire over here with the new opportunities. But the Princess of Discs is actually very nurturing, right? You just want the opportunity to get out what it is that you're trying to grow away from, right? Or manifest something that is healthy and wonderful for you, which could be the Ace of Wands, right? Maybe it is just a sexual thing that you're, trying to come up with. Everybody's going to be a little different. Maybe you're trying to get away from, one to get to the other, right? So maybe it's 2 and 1. That's so funny. You have the Prince of Wands on the Ace of Wands with the Princess of Discs with the Princess of Pentacles, with the Queen of Pentacles, which is the same, almost the same as the Princess of Discs. So it's like, okay. But we know that the Queen of Pentacles and the Princess of Discs is yourself, right? That's that Capricorn energy coming through. So, yeah, we're saying, okay, well, the practical, I'm nurturing, right? But I am putting up with this Prince of Wands, right? And then here's the Queen of Discs again. You might even be dealing with a Virgo, another earth sign. This could be all about a fire sign and then an earth sign within, and then yourself as well. Because it's saying you're nurturing the situation. You were like, you know what, even though you're acting like a, like a jerk or however it is, right? For some reason, I don't even think it's a jerk so much. I think it's actually somehow or another, I think that they're really upset about the situation and I think they're being kind of greedy. Plain and simple. And I think that they were trying to overthink the situation to where it's not fair for you because they didn't want to cut their losses. So I think it's more like I said, because you have the rivalry, competition. So it's more like they're just really pissed off. I just think that they're really pissed off and they just don't want to. They're brooding, right? Kind of even acting like a child. I just feel like, you know what, if I hold this away from you, if I hold this situation away from you, it's just going to make you upset. So it's almost like they're just trying to take your swords away. I just need like a 5 of swords over here because that's all it is. I'm trying to take your swords away from you, make you pissed off, trying to cause strife. But with the ending over here with the Queen of Discs, it's like I'm just ending this. So there is definitely going to be this change during the lunar eclipse area over here, which is going to change all the perspective, of you're going to view it all different. Let's just put it that way. Because you are having this huge transition. Playing it small. Unexpected delays. Yeah, because your perspective is so much different now. By the end of the month, you're not even going to see it the same anymore. Where you felt like they had some kind of control over you, or they felt they had some kind of control there, it's not going to be the same anymore. And I do feel like for some of you, you know, they really had you up in your head about this situation. By the end of the month, you're not going to see it like that at all. It's like everything's changing. Yeah, as you have the judgment and the wake up, you're going to say, you know what, you're acting, like I said, you're acting like a child. Wait a minute, why was I so worried about the situation? See, because your lawyer or whoever or whatever is going on over here, whether, or maybe it's just your, you know, higher self, however, take it how it resonates. In the end, you're just going to realize that they're playing games that they're not going to win. And I think for a lot of you, they just have you really in your head. But yeah, it's just all kind of BS. They really do have you for some reason thinking that you're going to lose, like you're not going to have anything. That's just not the way this works. Yeah, they get you all restless and unfocused. But see, with the Sagittarius and all the fire coming in, that's where you're going to say, no, wait, hold on. Because when that solar eclipse comes in, boy, your intuition's going to go boom. And your Wheel of Fortune is going to say, nope, this is in your favor. Whoa, then all of a sudden you're just going to realize all these ups and downs and all these things that they've been trying to throw at you is just to overwhelm you, just to put you in this like fear tactic of the situation, make you feel like you're not going to gain anything, make you feel like you're not going to get nothing. And that's just not true. It's just all them playing some kind of head game. Yeah, definitely head games. I totally hear the song in my head. It's like, head games. It's you and me, babe. Yeah. You know what? And that's exactly what it is, guys. It's just a head game. Yeah, because in the end, they have nothing. Right? They're just causing blockages. And they could be throwing all this crap at you, and you could even be receiving all this mail from something. And, you know, your lawyer on that side, if you have a lawyer, is just going to be like, yeah, this is all just BS. If it's just something that has to do with your inner emotions and they're playing head games that has nothing to do with resources or any of that stuff, you're just going to realize, you know what? I don't need all this, right? They're just doing all of this in the sake of keeping you unhappy and just getting in your head, and you're going to realize, I don't need all that, right? Because this will be a time when the eclipse comes in to sit down, get through your thoughts and your patterns and anything that makes you uncomfortable. All of a sudden you're going to realize, wait a minute, the only thing that's really making me uncomfortable is me listening to this, when actually this is not, you know what I mean? And I think for a lot of you, you're going to have this new love that's coming in that's actually going to also help you understand the awareness of how creepy this person is actually, being, by making you fear this stuff that's unnecessary, keeping your security down, keeping you insecure about the situations, or keeping you feeling like you're unworthy of this investment that is half of your resources, which is just BS, right? Okay, my friends. Till next time. Peace and love. Bye-bye.